I'm here with Howson and Abdullah. We're outside Old Trafford. 2 drop points in the Champions League today. Obviously not the end of the world for the Champions League, but in the grand scheme of things, not a great performance or result.
No.
Why was that?
I don't know, mate. I have more questions than I've got answers at the moment. A win wouldn't have told us much. I think the only thing that we would have found out with anything was today was like a bad loss. I think everyone would have gone, well, that's that then. Yeah, let's just call that a day. With a 0-0, like you just said, like we're still sort of in this, but are we? Looks like young boys are becoming the whipping boys of this group. If Valencia can rack up 2 wins against them, we're in trouble. The chances of us getting out of this group have just gone a lot slimmer. You've got to win your home games and not lose your away games. And we ain't done that already. So I don't know. Like I said, I got more questions than I got answers. There was a couple of good performances tonight, but too many players putting in poor performances. Antonio Valencia, mate, I'm losing patience with him. He was annoying me.
Someone mentioned to me, he looks like Gary Neville at West Brom. I don't think it was that bad individually, but he has looked poor for a while.
Do you know what, mate? There was time that Fellaini and Matic and Bay was having to cover for him. I think he does look like that. He was doing less than nothing with the ball. It'd go to him, and you're like, well, this is coming straight back down the line again. It's not going to go inside the box or anything, is it? Lukaku, for as good as he's been, was terrible. I don't know if he needs a rest. I don't know if he can get a rest. I don't know if you've got anybody in the squad that can take his role away from him or put him under pressure. So I went to the under-19s this afternoon. Mason Greenwood's taking a piss out of people, mate. Absolutely taking a piss out of people. He's doing things that I have not seen anyone do at this age group. Well, Jadon Sancho's getting an assist every 25 minutes in the Bundesliga at the minute. Mason's better. And you think, I wonder how much pressure Jose could take off himself by sticking the guy on the bench. Now they're not talking about
And then Jose will kill him a week later when he doesn't track back, and he'll destroy him in the press, and then what? We got another youth player that doesn't want to play football anymore.
We got players that don't track back. He accounts for them. He does account for them. He can put your face, but he does account for the occasional player that don't track back. And do you know what? Mason does track back. Mason puts a shift in. Marcus Rashford put a shift in tonight. It
is a season now where we kind of need to just look to the future, isn't it?
Do you know what though? Yeah, it is. But whether you sack Jose now, you wait to the end of the season to see what happens. We're not set up as a club to be successful. So you can sack him. Can everyone just stop the talk of bringing Fergie back? Please, I found that.
Who said that?
So many people, mate. I found it so disrespectful. The guy nearly died last year. So many people are saying bring Fergie back. That guy has poured everything into United.
Who said that?
There's a lot of people saying it. So can I just, if anyone's even thinking about saying it, forget it.
He's going to get clipped up as you saying Fergie should come back now, you know.
That guy's, I'm sure, that guy's done enough for this club and he deserves all the rest he can get. So forget talking about him. But let's say you bring Zidane in. We got no evidence what he can do with a defence like that or a midfield like that. If you bring Jardim in, people saying like, I thought last season Jardim, loved to see that guy. They're 18th in the league. You can start going through manager after manager after manager. Now, yes, probably 90% of the managers out there are going to be better man managers than Jose by all accounts. Maybe that would be enough to see a slight upturn in performances. Maybe that would be enough to see us finish inside the top 4 and maybe get a decent cup run out of this season. But we're not set up to be a successful team long term because the club don't have any sort of vision. They don't have any sort of leadership. And without that, you're not set up to be successful. There's other clubs out there that have got long-term 15, 10-year visions and they know that this manager's in here now. There'll be another manager that comes in, but there's a succession plan in place and these players are doing this for the youth and we're going to be scouting these guys and it's a long-term plan. Our plan to get rid of Louis van Gaal was because Jose Mourinho was available. That was about as long-term as it went, a couple of months into the future. Now Jose Mourinho looks like his head's on a chopping block. We're looking around. We said, didn't we, when Jose was appointed, the clock is running on this guy.
Is the fact, though, that no one is available a good enough excuse to hold on to a manager that is clearly not getting anything out of these group of players?
There's no transfer window for managers, mate. If you slap a big enough fish in front of someone, they might have it. That's all you got to say. There is no transfer window for managers, but we are not set up to, no matter who comes back, no matter who comes in and does that job, there ain't nobody that can come in and make this club long-term successful.
I agree with that. If we do pull the trigger, you have to put keep Carrick and McKenna in to the end of the season, whatever, and just sort your shit out. Because Ed Woodward can't be the man making football decisions at this club any longer. And surely it comes down to, after 3 failed managers, the person that's appointing those managers. Abdullah, what's your thoughts on today, bro?
To be honest, I always say this to you, within reason, I'll always back the manager. But he had 3 games to change it. And today was the worst of the lot, because there was no movement ahead of Pogba. If we just look at the game tactically, we forget whatever else happening outside of the football on the pitch. He had a chance to change it. He had Fred on the bench. He didn't even call Pereira up. McTominay was on the bench. He's not going to offer you that outlet going forward. He already had Matic and Fellaini in the squad to do McTominay's role, so I don't know why he was there and Pereira wasn't. Fred would have come on there and even allowed someone like Sanchez to pass and move, get involved in the play. It was easy for Valencia, just mark out Sanchez and Marcus Rashford. Even though Marcus Rashford was trying his hardest, he was running at defenders, even defensively he was tracking back. It was easy for them, just mark out those 2. Matic and Fellaini aren't going to make the movement in the middle.
Why do we always play Matic and Fellaini in home games? Both of them at the same time?
I just don't understand it. It's pretty simple. For me, every manager in the world, if you look at Zidane, plays your defensive midfielder, plays your creator, plays the guy that's going to bring the ball forward. We've got some of those players in the club. Like, I understand some of the defenders that he wanted weren't bought in. I think we needed an extra striker to get the pressure off someone like Lukaku in some games. That's another problem I think we've got. Obviously, like you said, they've got to deal with that crap behind the scenes. And for me, it's not just a manager situation. There's a lot going on. But right now, keeping Mourinho in that spot as the manager has become so toxic. It's just not going to improve. There's going to be no turnaround. So they're going to sack him when mathematically you can't make top 4. If we're going off what they did with Moyes and so on, or they're just going to try get a cup like Van Gaal and then end the season. You can't look at a club like that. You can't look at a club like a business. Ed Woodward needs to understand that. I mean, there's legends speaking about like Scholes and that coming out speaking about Mourinho in the dressing room. They're proper going deep on him. Like, it's embarrassing to watch on TV. Like, we're Man United. Like 2013, winning the 20th league title, and then now we've come to this. Like, it's such a big turnaround that it's embarrassing.
But I don't even look at 2013. I look at the end of Jose's first season to now. What has gone? Because it felt like we were moving in a good direction.
The end of last season to now feels like
I felt it towards the end of from Sevilla. I felt it kind of really.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. But we still finished with points tally that would have won us a league in recent years, which is the truth. Whether you can argue how far we was off City, but that's the truth. But this season, we're not even looking at a points tally that'll see us get top 4 in a shit season. We are struggling at the moment. We have got 3 teams that are multiple, if not, a lot of levels ahead of us. You've got Arsenal who are finding their form a little bit. You're going to have to hope that they in the Europa League. And if Spurs find their feet and Harry Kane decides he wants to start scoring again, we're the 6th best team in the country at best. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can either start to put things in place now that might make us be successful in the future. You can write this season off if you want, but you need to start putting things in place that successful teams do and demand excellence. Don't just be doing the minimum, the bare minimum to get us in top 4 because it keeps the sponsors happy. Because you might have a lot of sponsors and you might be the biggest supported club in the world, but you will lose the love of the fans by just doing the bare minimum. You can't compete with excellence by putting in the bare minimum. It doesn't work like that.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers.